All right, thank you very much, Devin. It looks like a wonderful forecast ahead, and we are now happy to welcome a very special guest into the studio who made it in here despite me getting locked out a few minutes ago. I didn't tell you that.
Got locked out?
No, I went out to let them in the driveway.
And I told them the wrong time, so they were here early, and they did everything despite us messing up.
But
so,
we're here
yes,
anyway.
Yes,
So
we're here with
we
Ben
go.
Layman. He's directing 10 Bucks Theater's newest show that is premiering tomorrow. It is Shuddersome. Tales of Poe. Thank you for being with us this morning.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Absolutely. So these are about Edgar Allan Poe short stories, correct?
Yeah, so Shuddersome is 6 vignettes. They are pieces of Poe's work that have been dramatized for the stage. It's an ensemble piece, which means everybody's sort of working together to tell these tales. They're playing various roles. It's a cast of 10. And we have, they change in flavor and spice. And we have The Telltale Heart, which is probably his most famous work, I would say. And we have The Raven, which is a famous poem, but staged in a very dramatic fashion about grief and loss. Very, very serious, kind of. And then we have a couple of pieces that folks might not be as familiar with. One is a poem called The Bells, which is done with a Vincent Price style voiceover by a local vocal talent, Neil Graham, who's also done our sound plot. And our actors are acting out the action of this poem that not many people know. It's a beautiful poem that gets very dark as it goes. And The Oval Portrait, which is another piece that not many folks will know, but it also is done in the style of silent film. So it's all movement with music. And then Lionizing is a full-on comedy piece. So there's a piece of comedy smack dab in the middle of all of this horror. And then we have some things that kind of play into both things, but it winds up being a good treat for Halloween.
That's awesome.
I'm excited to present it. It's going to be very spooky and fun.
Perfect timing for the holiday.
Yeah,
too.
absolutely. It was a really good choice. And I personally love Poe. I've had kind of a lifelong relationship with his work. So I was excited to bring this forward.
And it's not a traditional type of play. I mean, it keeps going, and it's different here and there. So that's really exciting.
That's right. And it's a little, it reminds me of, well, I'll bring up Vincent Price again. He did.
You always can bring up Vincent Price, yeah.
He did a series of one-man specials of Poe's work and put them together as a variety act. And I grew up listening to that and listening to those. It was kind of he was my introduction to Edgar Allan Poe, really, as a kid. And so this is kind of a nod to that. But yeah, it's an hour-long nugget. It goes without an intermission. And it's kind of fast and furious, but it's really, really a delight. I'm really enjoying what the actors are doing. I love the experience as a director when I can watch it 1,000 times and still really find things to enjoy. So I'm really proud of their work. It's a really interesting way to do it.
Who is this for? Is it just for adults, or is it okay for kids too?
I'm gonna give it a PG-13 rating.
Okay.
There's no actual blood in our show, but there's plenty of suggestion. You don't see the violence, but we talk about it. For instance, in The Telltale Heart, so there's talk and depiction of graphic violence, but I would say that it's mostly family friendly, and I would bring kids 13 and up with a parent. So. Yeah.
Which is really relevant. I think when I was that age in school, I was reading Poe. So that's perfect.
Absolutely. And he had a fascinating life. It was interesting to delve into what his inspiration for these pieces were and talk about that with the actors. Because, we learn about his work in school, or most of us do, but not really about why he wrote these things and what he went through in his life. He had a very fascinating and interesting,
tumultuous life with a sad ending.
Very much, and it's still kind of a mystery as to how exactly he passed.
I know they found him in the street or something like that, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty commonly thought that he had a pretty bad drinking problem, and that's how he went out. But we're left with all these wonderful pieces of his mind. And this has been really carefully dramatized, and in fact, I think was intended for use in the classroom. But we've taken it and given it kind of an upgrade in the fact of how we're staging things. So we have a piece that's staged like silent film. We have a piece that has practical sound effects. Again, we have a piece with no dialogue at all. And that voiceover from Neil with the bells is worth the whole price of admission. So.
Awesome.
Sounds great. Real
It's very,
quickly,
very cool.
where and when?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yep.
we are 10 Bucks Theater. We are in the Bangor Mall. We are on, if you enter the mall on the old Sears side of the space, you'll
Yep.
find us very quickly. And you can find all the dates, times, and a way to buy tickets at 10buckstheater.org.
And we will post this video along with a hyperlink so that people can access that directly.
Awesome. I just wanted to mention that we only have 50 seats available per performance, and the tickets have, advanced ticket sales have been strong. So
Okay.
we just advise
Get 'em
people
now.
if you want to come, get them now.
Glad to
For
hear
sure.
it. I'm not surprised
Yeah.
one bit.
Thank you.
Well,
I'm
thank you,
excited
Ben, for
about it.
coming on.
Thank you
Yes.
so much for having me. I
Yes.
appreciate it.